For centuries after leaving Egypt, ancient Israel functioned without a central government. There was no palace, no royal dynasty, and no physical crown. This lack of a human hierarchy was intentional. Their entire societal structure rested on the conviction that God himself served as their direct king. Modern retellings often paint the ancient judges as a spiritual dream team of heroes. However, the biblical text describes a much darker reality of instability and failure. To see the true nature of these leaders, we have to look at the original language. The Hebrew word shaphat describes a military and spiritual deliverer, rather than a legal umpire sitting in a courtroom. These deliverers only emerged during times of extreme crisis. They were meant to rescue the people and then immediately step back, preventing the rise of a human monarchy. The Book of Judges records a devastating structural decline. It provides a historical case study in why humanity struggles to govern itself without collapsing into chaos. The history of this era follows a four-part loop. The people rebel, an oppressor conquers them, the people cry out in desperation, and God sends a deliverer to rescue them. This cycle is not a closed loop of equal events. It is a worsening spiral where each new generation of leadership becomes more flawed than the one before it. Othniel represents the high watermark of this era. As an early leader, he led with honor and successfully restored peace to the land. Subsequent leaders abandoned this noble foundation. With every passing generation, the deliverers became increasingly compromised and chaotic. By the time the era reaches Samson, the spiral has hit the bottom. Samson came from the tribe of Dan, a name that ironically means justice. Samson possessed divinely granted physical strength, but lacked any moral fortitude. He was driven by his own appetites, rather than a devotion to the God who empowered him. The trajectory from Othniel to Samson proves the inherent flaw of the period. The human deliverers eventually became indistinguishable from the rot they were sent to fix. Centuries of this violent, repetitive cycle eventually brought the Israelites to a state of total exhaustion. Instead of seeking a spiritual return to God, they looked at the organized armies and visible thrones of the neighboring nations with envy. The elders of Israel approached the prophet Samuel with a specific demand. They wanted a human king so they could be like all the nations. God's assessment of this request was clear. He told Samuel that the people were not rejecting the prophet, but were rejecting God's reign over them. If this is helping you see something new in this history, take a moment and share it with someone who needs it. Subscribe if you haven't already, and drop a comment below. Even just one word. That is genuinely how people find us, and it makes more of a difference than you might think. The tragedy of this moment lies in the Israelites' belief that a visible political system could solve a collapse that was occurring in their own hearts. This ancient demand for a king reflects the same anxieties many feel today while looking at the chaotic state of the world. Modern society often seeks political salvation, placing ultimate hope in human leaders and institutions to fix our deepest problems. The era of the judges proves that no human leader, regardless of their charisma, can permanently deliver a people from their own brokenness. The centuries of failure serve as a proof. They demonstrate that if the deliverer is as flawed as the people, the rescue remains temporary. This exhaustion forces a look toward a different kind of savior, one who transforms the heart rather than just the political landscape. This need points to Jesus as the final, perfect shaphat. He is the deliverer who never compromises and never fails. Jesus breaks the cycle of self-destruction by resolving the internal corruption that the ancient judges could only manage.